Happy Friday, guys. 8-Bit Eric here. We got a lot of news to talk about. For your convenience, I do have timestamps down below so you can skip around and choose whatever topics meet your most interest. Whether you're interested in listening about some Sega news, potentially some Nintendo news, we got it all covered here. You guys responded. The feedback has mostly been positive about this longer format for my news articles and stuff. So as long as you guys keep enjoying it, I'm gonna keep doing it. Don't forget to smash that like or that dislike. Help throw some engagement. Throw a comment. Let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Let's get right to it. So here's some news. Sega and Atlus are set to announce a new RPG at the Tokyo Game Show. So Tokyo Game Show this year is gearing up to have some big bombshells. We also have rumors of Xbox going to have a pretty good showcase there, but this is pretty good. The publisher is going to hold a live stream on October 1st. So Sega is set to announce a new RPG during its Tokyo Game Show live stream October 1st. A new listing on the TGS website has claimed. So this is very interesting. The live stream is set to take place at 10 p.m. Japan time. Will also include content from Atlus, which is a subsidiary responsible for Persona and Shin Megami Tensei and all those games that the weebs like. all jokes. But yeah, the RPG reveal could potentially be related to Sakura Wars, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year after a logo for the series was briefly spotted on the TGS website this month. So Tokyo Game Show takes place September 30th to October 3rd. Will include more than 40 presentations. Like in 2020, TGS will broadcast 4 days of content on YouTube, Twitch, and social media platforms. This year, all of the programs will be broadcast in English with simultaneous interpretation. That leads me to believe that this is going to be a really big show, especially when they're going through the efforts of translating English and all these big companies, over 40 presentations. Speaking of Microsoft, it shows right here that they confirmed its Tokyo Game Show live stream and told fans to expect a celebration with our Asia community and locally relevant updates. So Microsoft has been trying to break huge ground in Japan, especially. They've always had kind of a trouble getting a foothold there. So I'm hyped up to find out about Xbox's presentation in general, but this news with Sega and Atlus presenting something. Sega's always done fantastic in Japan and in the Asia markets. There's potential for this. Could be big. I'm not familiar with Sakura Wars personally, but it excited enough people to see the logo at the TGS website. So we'll see what happens. Also, this concludes saying Square Enix has also confirmed a 50-minute Tokyo Game Show event where it'll more likely provide updates on the Final Fantasy series and more. The official event description says TGS show will offer the latest news about our upcoming titles along with pre-announced info. So we got Square lining up, we got Sega and Atlus lining up, and we have Microsoft lining up. So the Microsoft thing is especially intriguing. Again, like I said, they've had trouble throughout the years trying to get their foothold and stuff like that. So if they're gonna bring some heavy hitting news and get Japan crazy over it, Tokyo Game Show is the place to be. Now moving on, we have some news about Battlefield. Now this news is a couple days old. This actually has me a little upset because this is a game that I was looking forward to, but we only have to wait a couple months. Battlefield has been delayed. They posted this on their Twitter on the 15th. It's the 17th. So it's a couple days old. Let me get to it. It's better late than never. But they said they've made the decision to shift the launch of Battlefield 2042. It'll now be released worldwide November 19th. So just a couple more months, a few more weeks added on to it. This is a game that I get constantly asked about in my live streams if I'm going to be checking it out. Yeah, I am. I definitely am. I plan to. Now, they do continue to say building the next generation of Battlefield during a global pandemic has created unforeseen challenges for our development teams. Given the scale and scope of the game, we'd hope our teams would be back in our studios together as we move towards launch. With the ongoing conditions not allowing that to happen safely, and with all the hard work the teams are doing from home. We feel it's important to take the extra time to deliver on the vision of Battlefield 2042 for our players. Your enthusiasm for the game has been very inspiring. We believe in the game we're making, and we thank you for your audience as we put some finishing touches into the experience. Updates on the open beta will be coming later this month. So they're still planning on having an open beta. Battlefield and Vanguard basically neck and neck, competing for each other as the FPS of this fall and winter. The trailer, the teaser trailer that we saw at E3 for Battlefield was pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie. Again, I never really played any of the Battlefield games. I own some of them. I just never really sank the teeth into it, so I'm pretty much a noob. But I think it's cool. You know, it's more of an advanced and modernized, futuristic play of battle than what Vanguard's gonna be. So it's like apples to oranges, right? But you know, this day and age, after we've had the whole Cyberpunk fiasco with the game being delayed and delayed and delayed, and then it comes out and it's still not finished, I'd rather video game companies just take their sweet time putting these games out. So if you got to do a few more weeks in order to get the game the way that you want it, by all means do it. Just recently we also had Dying Light get a delay announcement, so I'm okay with that. I am okay with delays as long as it goes towards making sure that the game itself is working. And then again, we also had the excuse of the pandemic and stuff like that, so I know this might be a letdown to some people, but what can you do, right? Now THQ Nordic had their showcase, or is about to have their showcase pretty soon. I haven't really followed much of it. I know there was a lot of new game announcements, like Destroy All Humans 2 was announced and revealed. Quite a bit, actually, shown from their thing. But right now, there's 2 THQ Nordic classics that you can claim for free. Titan Quest Anniversary Edition and Jagged Alliance 1 Gold Edition. So you can pick these up, claim them. I'm not entirely sure how you do it. I think it's on Steam. So they also have a publisher sale going on. So make sure you go on to Steam. Yeah, it's Steam. So you can see right here, if we're giving away 2 games, that's actually up to 100% off during our publisher sale on Steam. Where's my edit tweet button? So they're just making fun of you know, the whole edit thing on Twitter. But yeah, go on Steam, check it out. It's part of the sale. They have a big sale right here. Let's go ahead and check this out. It's all part of like their anniversary that's going on. So they have an anniversary going on. So you can see right here, Biomutants on sale, SpongeBob's on sale, Destroy All Humans, Desperados, Darksiders. I recommend Darksiders, Wreckfest. Then you got some of these other games popping up right here. They got their 10th anniversary show being rebroadcast. And then you got some of these announcements right here that are part of it. You got Destroy All Humans 2, which was accidentally leaked by Sony. I touched on that the other day. Then we got Outcast 2. Then it looks like we got a new SpongeBob game coming out and a few other ones. So there you go. THQ Nordic, not a half bad developer, honestly. I do enjoy the Darksider games. I've heard all of the critical acclaim of the Destroy All Monsters games and everything like that. If you come over to the page right here, you can see this is exactly where Titan Quest and Jagged Alliance are completely free. So you can pick up your games for Steam and grab them. So free games is always good. And then, you know, all these games right here. This is the Police, Darksiders, Wreckfest, Chronos, all on sale. Fade to Silence, Battle Chasers. Oh, something for everybody. El Hijo, I played El Hijo. Gianna Sisters, Twisted Bundle. Chicken Police. I think that's a little bit of a underrated indie title and stuff like that. Some of these I've actually made videos of on my channel for the Nintendo Switch versions. So if you're interested in checking it out, go to their Steam store, THQ Nordic. Check it out, pick up your free games, and have some fun. Now, let's get into Nintendo news. We got a couple of Nintendo news and rumors right here. Again, take all this with a grain of salt. A lot of this is from Reddit posts or insiders saying that they have sources or speculation and stuff. One thing with Nintendo that I've always had an issue with is the Joy-Con. The Joy-Con drift, the Joy-Con itself. I was really let down that they didn't switch the Joy-Con for the OLED model coming out in the next couple of weeks. But now it looks like there's a rumor that a new Nintendo Switch controller could be in the works. Again, this is all speculation. Don't take this, as complete confirmation. Anytime you see reported or rumored or anything like that, that just means it's something that is being speculated on, okay? Nobody's claiming to have insider sources or anything like that. Now, this says an FCC ID application doesn't confirm anything. New Nintendo Switch controllers could be on the way that can address Joy-Con drift. So this starts off saying it's no secret that Nintendo fans have been asking for new controllers ever since the Switch's Joy-Cons proved to drift after a short amount of time. Luckily for fans, it looks like the company might be working on a new controller type that would be added to the Switch's repertoire. Now, Samus Hunter pointed out an FCC ID application that was made by Nintendo earlier today for a new game controller. While obviously nothing's set in stone until Nintendo officially announces it, the application for an FCC ID looks pretty solid based on past applications for Switch hardware. So there's a filing right here. So this is based on past filings for Switch hardware. This is why they're thinking this is most likely to happen. So let's take a look and dig into this. FCC ID applications are made to register new hardware that works within the regulations set by the FCC, and the naming convention that Nintendo used for the application falls right in line with other Switch accessories. All Switch hardware use HAC as their code names, and the application is for game controller HAC043, which indicates that something Switch related is possibly coming. I wish I could blow this image up more. Let me see if I can open it in a new tab. Not really. I'm sure you guys might have a better view than me. I can't see far, but you can see here's the FCC filing, the ID, which that seems kind of legit. Now, it is important to note that it isn't confirmation that Nintendo just might be working on something for the future. So they, companies make patents all the time. They apply for trademarks, patents, copyright, everything, even if they don't use it. But major gaming companies do this all the time as they work on solidifying their ideas. But it doesn't necessarily mean things will be happening soon. So, again, in hindsight, even though this isn't rumored, maybe there's a chance that we could be getting a new version of a Switch controller that doesn't have Joy-Con drift. There's an OLED model Switch coming out, but no new controller. Maybe there'll be, some kind of different thing for a Pro controller, or I don't know. I'm hoping though that we can actually see something in the works. Again, one of my biggest complaints is the Joy-Cons. I very rarely use the Joy-Con itself. I play using a Pro controller most of the time. So if something happens, that'll be good. Now, we have some rumors recently that have been happening in regards to the Nintendo Switch Online service. This is an article from Nintendo Life. We're going to read it. People have already talked about this the last couple days, but just in case you wanted to know what I think about it, because I've had people ask me recently what are my thoughts on certain games coming to the Nintendo Switch. So there's been rumors of Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color coming. To me, that makes the most sense. But let's be honest, you want a console to play console games as well. And some of the games on the Nintendo 64 would be a lot of fun to play with Joy-Cons on the Switch with online multiplayer. So let's go ahead and read this. This is the rumor. Again, take all this with a grain of salt. Insider says N64 is coming to Switch Online. Believes it will introduce a higher price subscription tier. Now, if they have a higher price subscription tier, I'll be honest, I'll probably be out of it. I don't want to pay more for Switch Online unless we see some substantial upgrades and features. But continuing on, this is a few weeks ago, known insider Nate Drake, who he's basically had a lot of rumors and speculation throughout the years. He revealed on his podcast how Game Boy and Game Boy Color games would supposedly be coming to the Switch Online service in the near future. Now, they added how other retro platformers are also likely to show up. While no systems in particular were mentioned, the same insider now says one of the other platforms is the Nintendo 64. Here's exactly what he had to say on the latest episode. So here's a quote from him. He said, Eurogamer went one step further, having noted that additional platforms will also be added to Switch Online in the future. And today I would like to add to that. Yes, that info is accurate. And one of the platforms that will be coming to online in the future is the revolutionary N64. I know there's a lot of people that like them. To me, I think the Nintendo 64 kind of, the graphics are just really bad to look at, including the PS1. Just that early 3D polygonal, I don't know, it's just real hard on my eyes. So while the rest of the discussion about the N64 coming to NSO is for most part speculative, Nate seems to think Nintendo will use this generation of games to introduce a new Switch Online price tier. In other words, you could be expected to pay more to access these games that are roughly estimated to make memberships around $5 to $15 more a year. So it's about $20 for a year already. I guess, that's still not that bad. That's much more cheaper than PSN or Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Now he says, what I'm going to propose is that when Nintendo 64 comes to Switch, it is going to come with a higher price tier, a premium version of Nintendo Switch Online, if you will. I don't think they will try to double the price of it. It'd come in at $30 a year, $35 would be the ceiling. Any more than that, I think Nintendo would really be pushing things. Further speculation from the insider and his co-host MVG touches on the elephant in the room, which is Rare's library of games, GoldenEye licensing, and even the fact Mario 64 was only recently released as part of the 3D All-Stars collection. While the insider is confident N64 will eventually appear on NSO, he's not quite as sure about the date of its arrival. So he says, I would give a very realistic probability that it happens in the current fiscal year. That's a guess. I mean, that's a guess, we'll find out, as we said. September is the month of reveals, anniversary of the platform itself. So hopefully we'll see some news about Switch Online this month. There's no rule that it has to come out this month. Now, again, there's no evidence on this. It mostly sounds like it's just some dude that has had success in the past, makes predictions, speculates, it happens, and it sounds like he's just shooting the breeze on a podcast, to be completely honest. So there's no evidence, there's no proof, but I would like to know your thoughts. What would you rather have, N64 or Game Boy games coming up? Now, a sister website of Nintendo Life, this is Pure Xbox. With the whole update of the PlayStation 5 recently taking SSD cards and stuff like that, storage is the talk of the town. This is a rumor about Xbox possibly getting a cheaper 500 gigabytes Series XS expansion card. Now, the current one is 1 terabyte. I think it's like $200. You just pop it in the slot in the back of the thing and you call it a day. Could be as easy as ever. You know what I mean? It's much more easier than the PS5's options, even though the PS5 adds a different bit of variety for what you can put in there. But 500 gigs for a cheaper version might not be a bad deal for most of y'all, since it's available at half the cost of the 1 terabyte version. So here's the 1 terabyte Seagate. Now, it is rumored to be released for November 14th. So they said this is potentially excellent news for Series X and Series S owners to share. So this is a report from Xbox Squad in France. They're suggesting that a cheaper 500 gigabyte next gen version expansion card could be on the way. The website has been sent a document suggesting the card would be costing between 149 to 169 euros. I don't know the conversion in the United States, but it would make it around half the cost of the 1 terabyte version. Windows Central has reported on this discovery as well, but says it hasn't been able to independently verify whether or not this card actually exists. That's all we know so far, and neither Microsoft nor Seagate has commented on the claims. This could turn out to be a misinformed retailer sharing a false listing, but the idea of a 500 gigabyte expansion card certainly makes a lot of sense. That's an option to be there. Me, personally, I want more options for 1 terabyte and 2 terabytes. 500 gigs, not half bad, but if I'm paying 100, I want more bang for my buck. Now, continuing on, we have some PlayStation news, as well as some more Xbox news. What is going on in the world of gaming as my browser to upload. So here we go. PlayStation's teasing a new PS5 game from the developer of Days Gone. I know a lot of people were recently bummed about Days Gone sequel not happening, but let's read this article. This says, head of PlayStation Studios, Herman Hulst, has teased a new PS5 game from Bend Studio, developer best known for the PS4 game Days Gone. Over on Twitter, the official Twitter account for Bend Studio recently shared a job listing for a new IP. The team is working on it. So Hulst describes it as a great new concept. Unfortunately, this is the extent of the tease. That said, while the tease is brief, there's some info that can be gleaned from it in the job listing as well. So for one, it's a new IP, which rules out any pre-existing PlayStation IP or a sequel. So the sequel to Days Gone's not happening as of right now. I remember there was a big petition for it. So they are working on a PlayStation IP created by other studios in the past. Now, they're assuming they're going to work on other PlayStation IP again after they made, the one that they did make, Days Gone, didn't meet, I guess, the measuring stick, which is why they're not making a sequel. So they're going to go back and work on other PlayStation IPs. Now, the job listing doesn't divulge much else of note, but it is working on a AAA game. They also revealed the studio is missing several key staffers, including an art director, a lead effects artist, a lead environment artist, a lead lighting, and several senior positions such as senior game staff game designer. So, does it mean the game is early in development? Not necessarily, but it does suggest that. So, who knows what could be going on in regards to that? I do think it's interesting that they're working on a brand new game, a different IP than Days Gone. Unfortunately, we're not going to see the sequel from the looks of it. Well, I think that's it for news, guys. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you follow. Hit that subscription button. I'm gonna try to do these at least once a day on top of live streaming. So I'd love to see you guys on the streams as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.